All right, y'all, thanks for tuning in the video today. We've got an awesome upgrade we're doing today, and this is a safety one, so it's important to me, right? The biggest thing for me is when I have my family in the truck and I'm towing this RV, somebody moves out in front of me, I've got to be able to stop it, you know, and I don't have the confidence with the drum brakes. I've done some upgrades on these trailers before, you know, campers I've had in the past. I've replaced the drums and went to disc, and it is the difference of the camper stops the truck. I mean, versus the truck stops the camper. So, you know, the drum brakes, the other thing that a lot of people don't realize is you've got that big drum, you know, on the old drum brakes, and they carry that heat. And so if you do any stopping and going, I mean, I've got the temperature and the pressure sensors in my truck, so I can actually see that I'm getting up to 180 degrees inside those tires. And, you know, most of that's coming from the heat from the drum brakes soaking through the wheel and then back into the tire. So we're looking at two things here. We're gonna decrease our stopping distance, and we're going to reduce our temperature, which is going to prevent blowouts. So it's very important to get this done. I've had this camper for about 1.5 to 2 years. We've probably put a couple thousand miles on it, and so it's time to go ahead and redo the wheel bearings anyway and repack them. I've got a 1,500-mile trip coming up, so it's a perfect time. I've got to take it all down anyway, so it's a perfect time to go ahead and make these upgrades. Okay, now in this video, we're going to do a stopping test, and we're going to show you the installation and all those things. So you want to stay tuned for it. One of the biggest things is I reached out to Deemaxx Components. Okay, they make awesome brake kits. I called them. I was like, you know, they said they needed a few things from me. They didn't know what axles I had, which I basically have the Lippert. They're 7,000, and then what size stud, and if you have the 5-bolt pattern, you know, for the brake hub. And so once you let them know all that information, you call those guys up. I'm going to drop their link down in the comments and their contact information. If you want to reach out to them, just make sure you get the right stuff for your order. But today, I'm excited because look what just showed up. And so we're fixing to do an unboxing on this. I'm going to go ahead and cut the straps and get the paper off, and we're going to lay everything out and see what is in this box. All right, y'all, so I've opened up one box. You've got 3 more hub boxes there. In the hub box, what you're going to get is you're going to get your rotor, and what's really nice is if you look, your races are already pressed in for you. I mean, they saved you the work on that. So all you've got to do is basically grease the bearings and do an install. I do like, if you look, these are very cool rotors. They've got this slotted too on the top, so it's going to help keep it cool. We've got this bracket. Now what's really nice about this bracket is you can rotate that rotor in any position you want, basically, I mean the caliper. And so if you want to put it on there, you know, to the front, to the top, you know, whatever position you want to go with on that. In here, you're going to find your 2 bearings, your cap, your new seal for the back, and miscellaneous bolts to put the caliper on. And then you've got your caliper here. Pads already ready to go and ready for the brake line there. You also get a sticker you can put on your camper. It says it has Deemaxx brakes on it, and then you'll also have the Deemaxx brake booster here. And one of the things actually 2 things you're going to need to do this install is you're going to need DOT4 brake fluid. So you're going to need plenty of that so you can bleed the lines out. And then this comes with the wiring diagram here. And then, you know, a lot of that's pretty simple because if you've already got an RV, the pool's already hooked up and all that stuff. So generally you're just going to have to hook power up to it. I mean, the breakaway system's already installed. And here we have, for each axle, the 2 fittings that T for the lines, and all the mounts to mount the line to the frame as you're going down the frame. And then here you have your brake line. Now, one of the things I did on mine is I did measure from my first axle to the box, and it was right at 20 feet. And so I told them I would probably need, you know, maybe 23 or 24 feet. So they sent me a little bit longer brake line kit so that I can get into my compartment and mount my booster in the compartment up front by the battery. So anyway, you've got that, and then you've got the zip ties if you need those, and then a couple of these that just go down to the caliper, the single lines. And that's it. And so got it unboxed. Now we just need to get it installed. We've got everything set up here. Exhaust brake on. I'm going to put the trailer gain on about 9. And let's see if we can get up to 35 miles an hour between here and the cones and do an abrasive braking. 30 miles an hour at the cones, hard brake. All right, so let's get out and measure that. And I hit the brakes as soon as the front end crossed the cones. So you can see our full length plus that is where we landed. So let me get the tape out and let's measure how many feet that is. All right, y'all, so 30 miles an hour, full stop, and that was a hard brake. I felt the ABS kick in. Coming down here, we are exactly 74 feet to the front of the truck is what it did with the drum brakes. Just wanted to show the 74 feet that we landed at. And on this photo, you can definitely see that the ABS was kicked in and we were peeling the pavement. All right, y'all, this is day 2. Got the disc brakes installed. Trailer gain is on the same thing. We should be on 9. All right, let's see if we can increase or decrease that stopping distance. We're going to, as soon as the front end crosses those cones, we're going to slam on the brakes and let's see what happens. Miles an hour and brake. All right, let's get out and measure. All right, y'all, so for a 30 mile an hour stop, we definitely improved. We went over the length of the vehicle with the drum brakes, and today this is where we're at with the disc brakes. So for a 30 mile an hour stop, that's pretty significant. I would say, you know, at 50, 60, 70, that's gonna make a big difference if it's a percentage, right? So we'll get the tape measure out and let's measure that, see what that is. All right, y'all, what was that, 74 yesterday? 48 today to the front of the truck. So definitely improved stopping distance. All right, so I wanted to give y'all a good braking 74. You can see we got the camper behind us. Turn into my neighborhood. I'm not on the brakes yet. Get in the turning lane. Okay, let's land, Tom. Just amazing. It stops almost as good as it does with the truck by itself. All right, so one of the first steps we got to get done is we got to get all the tires off the unit. So what I've done is I went ahead and lowered the front end. I put some jack stands under here. And then I ran the back jacks down. Don't put all your weight on those. They're not made to hold that. So that's why I put the jack stands there. And then I ran the front up. So I have very little weight on the axles. So I'm gonna use a jack, remove the tires, and let the axles float. Okay, so you can see we got the jack stands under the back. All the weight of the camper's on it and on the front legs. And all we gotta do now is get all the tires on there, got the axles floating. We just need to get a screwdriver and pop all these caps off real quick. And then we'll take the cotter pins, the nuts, and then pull the hubs off. Okay, so once you've went around and cut the wires, you're gonna need 9/16. And you're gonna remove the 5 nuts here. Holding the brake on. And then we're just gonna slide those off, set those aside. You wanna make sure that you get the seal surface really nice and clean right here. Because you need your new seals to seal off. So I'm also going to spray back there and get a little bit of that old brake dust off of the axle, because I plan to take those wires. I'm going to make a few runs around there. All right, y'all, so it took me exactly about 35-40 minutes to pull all the wheels off and to basically pull the hardware off and to get it prepped. Now, you know, if your RV was due for wheel bearing packing, this is a perfect time to do it, because, I mean, I probably got about 7,500 miles on this camper. It's about 1.5 years, 2 years old. So it's time to go ahead and repack the wheel bearings. So this is perfect. Gonna put the new brake set on, new bearings, everything will be packed. We'll be good to go. So let's get after it. All right, so you can see we've got everything laid out all the way around. So what I'm gonna do for me is I'm gonna go ahead and pack all the rear bearings, put the rear seals in, slide the hubs on. As you can see, I got my backer plates on for the calipers all the way around. So got that ready. We're gonna go ahead and pack these bearings real quick. I've got my rear bearing loaded in my packer. So you can see it pushed it all the way out of the bottom. We'll take that, we'll put that around the rollers that's on the back side. Okay, now that we've got the rear bearings in, we're gonna go ahead and install our seal. Just kind of do a visual inspection of it, make sure everything's good. So the seal's done. We're gonna take just a little bit of grease. We're gonna put it right here where the seal rides so that we don't cut the seal when we go on. We gotta be real careful when we put that on and install it. That's it. We've got a nice fit. The seal went on well. Do the same on the rear. Okay, so on these castle nuts, what I like to do a lot of times is I want to make sure that the races are seated and everything's really tight. So I'm going to snug it up really tight. And I'm going to back off of it. And you're trying to feel that resistance right there to see where you're going to get that cotter key through it. It's going to be a little too loose right there. You got some in play. I'm going to have to go up to this next one right there. And that's where it's going to sit. Feels good right there. It's nice and free. We have no in play. So we'll get the cotter key put in it, and then we get the cap on it. So the next step is basically just bolting up the calipers, and you can see on the front one there, I've got that done. Push those out. Takes a 1/2 inch ratchet wrench, works like wonderful. Okay, so that's going to be it for this side. We've got this side completed. We're going to have brake lines in the pump will be the next step, but I'm going to go ahead and complete the other side, get those bearings packed. We'll be right back with you. Okay, so I've got both sides completed, so the next thing is to get your hoses figured out. So I've got my long run going to the front box up there. Got my nice blanket laid down here. I've got a T and a 4-way, so I'm going to get under here with the hoses and the small hoses that I have and figure out which configuration is going to work best for me to get the hoses to all the axles. All right, so we've got the brakes 100% complete. Got it pulled out of the shop. And we mounted our Deemaxx pump up here in the front compartment, which I've got a solar charger and a lot of stuff in here. We got it mounted right here, which is easy to access. Bled the brakes. Just kind of let them naturally bleed, and then had one of those little bleed bottles. And got all the air out of them. One of the other things I wanted to talk to you about is you need to make sure whenever you get your pump hooked up that if you pull your brake away that your pump runs. I did that earlier. It worked great, didn't have any problems. So my tires the brakes will apply if my breakaway is pulled. So something you need to check. All right, so we definitely shortened up our stopping distance. You know, the truck now, if I reach down and grab the gain controller, it'll shut the whole truck down and pull us to a complete stop. You know, and that's completely different from before. You know, even with the drum brakes, it would not like hardly stop the truck. I do feel like the trailer will stop the vehicle now versus the truck stopping the vehicle. So the braking is definitely gives me a lot more confidence. Somebody pulls out in front of me that I can actually get this thing shut down in time. And so, you know, safety is one of the priorities for me. I definitely recommend the disc brakes. Again, you're getting the heat off, not having those big metal drums on there. And so you're going to, you know, down here in the south, you know, it gets, you know, when it's 100 degrees outside, the pavement's really hot, your tires get heated up. That's going to help prevent blowouts. And you're going to see lower temps. You know, I can actually see the temps and my pressures on the display in my Ford. You know, you get up to 175, 180 in those tires, so they get pretty hot. So anyway, reach out to Deemaxx. I mean, they're great. I called them, told them exactly what I needed. They asked me axle manufacturer, weight rating, stud size, gave them all that information. Guys, in 2 days, it was on the end of my driveway. So kudos to them. Make sure you get the right stuff. Give them a holler. They're great to work with. I want to thank them for sending this stuff to me today. My family and my safety definitely feels much better with this kit on this trailer. I mean, I'm rolling down the highway right now. If this guy slams on the brakes in front of me, I got this. So 100%. I'm going to drop Deemaxx's link down in the comments below. If you want to holler at them, I'll drop their phone number and their link to their website. And again, I want to thank you for watching the video today. If the video helped you any, please hit that like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.